Recently, I read this quote, and I can't remember exactly how it went, but it said something to this effect. If you know half about God, then you can only talk half about God to others. And I think that's a good point. And what does it really mean? Well, if we know God so well and so deeply, then we can tell people about Him deeply. If we don't know that much about God, then when we try to talk to other people about Him, we're not going to be able to talk very much about Him. If we know nothing about Him, then we really can't say anything about Him to others. Now, Jesus calls us all to be happy to talk about Him and about God to other people, which means we have to know God well. And how do we get to know Him well? By having a deep, loving relationship with God. It means we have to know more and more about God, and it'll get easier for us to tell other people about Him. Now, if we look at today's first reading, it speaks about Paul and Barnabas and how they traveled doing missionary work all over, teaching people and converting people. And back then, there were no airplanes and no cars, so transportation or traveling all over the place must have been a lot of work and required a lot of sacrifice. Yet they still did it, still went about teaching and talking to people about God and Jesus. And in my vlogs over the years, I've always encouraged people that it's so important to pray. And prayer is important because that's where we open up our communication with God. Just like if we look around and see people that are best friends, it's because they can communicate with each other. They talk to each other and they're connected. And if not, then they wouldn't be good friends. And it's the same with God. It's so important. For example, we need to take the Eucharist because we believe that in the Eucharist we are meeting Jesus. And we need to meet Him on a regular basis, just like friends who know each other really well meet each other on a regular basis. So we need to feed our faith. That means praying, meeting Jesus and God, and asking Him to help us learn more about Him, reading the Bible more, and it'll come to life. Getting our faith stronger, going to classes, reading books, watching movies, about Jesus or saints, feeding that fire of our faith. And then we'll be able to continue to spread that to other people and touch other people and help them know God. So I invite us all this week to ask Jesus and say, I want to love you more. Help me, please. Thank you, and God bless you.